To the Twiggs County Board of Education meeting. Thank you to our in-person and online communities and stakeholders for joining us this evening. It is my pleasure to call the Twiggs County Board meeting to order. Today is Tuesday, June 14, 2022, and the time is now 6:05 p.m. May we stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may be seated. At this time, I will entertain a motion to approve the agenda for tonight's meeting. Meeting night, June 14, 2022.
So moved.
Motion has been properly made by Ms. Blackshear. May I have a second? Second motion by Vice Chair Rouse. Any discussion? No discussion. I know you by saying aye. Raising your hand if you approve this motion. Aye. Any opposers? No opposers. That motion carries unanimously. At this time, may I have a motion to approve the minutes from our May 24th, 2022 BOE work session, our June 1st, 2022 BOE call session, and our June 8th, 2022 BOE call session.
So moved.
Motion has been properly made by Ms. King. May I have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Ms. Teresa Blackshear. Any discussion? No discussion. I know you by saying aye. Raise your hand if you approve the motion to accept the minutes from our May 24th, June 1st, and June 8th board meetings. Aye. Any opposers? No opposers. That motion carries unanimously. At this time, I'll ask Ms. Blackshear to give us an ethics statement.
Thank you. In accordance with regulations set forth by the Georgia Ethics Commission, it is the duty of every board member to avoid both conflict of interest and interest of such conflict. Does any board member have any known conflict? Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Madam Blackshear. At this time, does any board members have any comments or remarks? Seeing none, good evening, Dr. Bullard. Superintendent's comments and remarks.
Good evening, Mr. Chair,
Proceed.
Mr. Vice Chair, board members, all of our constituents in person and those that are with us virtually tonight. We want to greet you on tonight. And first, I'm going to start off with saying that our summer learning opportunity has had a great start, and our students are progressing well. Our elementary scholars have had 100% attendance since the beginning of the summer learning opportunity. And our middle and high school students are also on track to completing their course requirements as well. We're excited about the progress that they are making. Next week will be the last week of our summer learning opportunity program, and we want to encourage our scholars to keep up the great work. And we want to thank all of our teachers and administrators who are also making this opportunity possible for them. On yesterday, Monday, June the 13th, our high school parents, guardians, and students were sent a remind message from the Twiggs County Public Schools giving you the opportunity to select your elective courses or to change your elective courses to one of the new courses that will be offered at the Twiggs County High School this coming year. High school parents, guardians, and students, make sure you take a look on your phones for that remind message that came out on yesterday, Monday, June the 13th. Feel free to call the high school if you have a need for any assistance. The administration and the counselor are available in person at the high school. Also, this coming Monday, June the 20th, for additional support if needed. So parents, guardians, and students, make sure you check your remind message. Take a look at those new courses that are being offered and select or change your elective courses to match your personal career choice for the upcoming school year. And last but not least, as you see on the screen, our very own Miss Cameron Stevens, 10th grader at Twiggs County High School, was selected as one of 8 students to participate in the 2022 Junior Legal Internship and Scholarship Program that is hosted by the Childers and McCain LLC Attorneys at Law. Cameron spent the week working alongside lawyers, investigating scenes, meeting clients, visiting courthouses, preparing documentary evidence, and much more. On completion of the internship, Cameron received a scholarship and left with a college-ready resume and a wealth of experience. Childers and McCain Attorneys at Law acknowledges that Cameron, as a Twiggs County High School rising 10th grader, has the passion and exceptional speaking skills. She was commended for her plea for justice in her closing argument in one of her cases, and we want to congratulate Cameron. We are beyond proud of your accomplishment and your ability to share your gift. Mr. Chair, that concludes my comments for tonight.
Thank you, Dr. Bullock, for those comments, and congratulations to all of our scholars for a marvelous job for attending our summer opportunities, in addition to going beyond to make Twiggs County look great, as we are great. Thank you, Dr. Bullock. At this time, we will enter into our business agenda. Business agenda item A, this is bus stop issues. This is the information item being presented by our Executive Director of Operations, Mr. Tyrone Bacon.
Good evening, Board Chair Harris,
Proceed.
Vice Chair Rouse, board members, Dr. Bullard, Superintendent of Schools, and our audience, both here and virtual. Good evening. What I'd like to present to you today is our bus stop, some issues we've been having with our bus stops. And we want to bring those to the forefront so that we can make some better decisions, some safer decisions for our students and our bus drivers. But first, I'd like to remind everybody, we are a school district with a vision, generating excellence, one team, one goal, with a mission to inspire, challenge, and prepare all students to complete globally. Oakview Drive East. Well, this is a particular parent complaint about the bus service that they're getting on Oakview Drive East. The parent would like us to drive down the dirt road in which they live. They're not just them, there are 9 students that live down that road. So they brought that complaint to us. If you look at Oakview Drive, there's the first picture here. You see a parent waiting in the afternoon on the corner for the bus to drop off, which is Oakview Drive. Actually, it's pretty large size double road for our county. It's a pretty good size road. And in the other picture, you see where the students stand in the morning. Not necessarily optimum, but that's what we have. So what's the issue? Several parents have expressed their concerns about their child's bus stop location. Their complaints range from wanting the bus to travel down a dirt road that is less than 22 feet, which is what we have for two-way traffic. It's legal for two-way traffic, both ongoing and coming. Or the actual dirt road is less than 11 feet, which is optimal for one-way traffic, which we try to stay away from, but when we measure out the road. Or they want us simply, they think their child is walking too far, and they would like us to pick up Johnny just a little bit closer to their home. The Twiggs County School District does not have the authority, capacity, or the ability to correct many of these issues. There are county road issues, there are infrastructure issues, there are land ownership issues, which keep us from turning in yards or making these turns. People don't want you driving a bus in their yards and things like that. So we have several issues when we go out and look at complaints that we deal with. So what you have, and I will include this is, we decided to add this after a result of our practice on yesterday. They thought it would be a good idea. This is actually an excerpt from the actual state law that governs bus drivers and school transportation. And it talks about backing up. So what I'll do is I'll kind of read that to you. It says in the bold square, points of stress. Back your bus only when you have no other safe way to move the vehicle. Backing is dangerous and increases the risk of a collision. If you have no choice and you must back your bus, please follow the following procedures. Host a lookout. 2, the purpose of the lookout is to warn you about obstacles approaching persons and other vehicles. The lookout should not give you directions on how to back the bus. 2, signal for quiet on the bus so you can hear the lookout. As you back, consistently check all mirrors and rear mirrors. Back slowly and smoothly. If no lookout is available, A, set the bus parking brake. B, turn off the motor, take the keys with you. C, walk to the rear of the bus to determine whether the way is clear. But a lot of parents simply think, hey, come down my road and you can just back the bus up. I backed my car up. But we're governed by a whole set of different rules. It is very dangerous to back a bus up, and they get a little frustrated with us because it seems like we simply could just drive down their road and back the bus up and do a K-turn, but we cannot. I was a little taken aback when I read this myself, post a lookout. So then we'll have to hire lookouts. As you can see, it gets more and more complicated as we go. So we're governed by these laws, by these best practices to try and operate buses as safely as possible. So what's our current procedure? If we get a complaint, we don't just ignore that complaint. If a complaint is lodged with the Transportation Department concerning a route or a bus stop, Chief Waller, Mr. Chapman will make a visit to the site and assess the situation. On rare occasions, if the parent doesn't like what they hear from them, I will actually go out, myself and Broderick will go out and double check that and check the law, check the width of the road. We'll go through all of that. We'll take pictures. I have videos of us riding down the road, all the different things so we can log that. So we do have a procedure which we follow to see if the complaint, if we can do something about it. If we can, we will. But what we don't have in our county is a bus stop criteria. All of our bus stops are based on history. This is where the bus stop has always been. This is where the bus stop will always be. Or we are lucky enough we live down certain roads where the lanes are good, the road condition is good, and it's almost seeming like we have one-on-one, stop-by-stop, house-by-house delivery and pickup. But we don't have a bus stop criteria, so we must develop one. The district must develop a concrete guidelines and criteria for establishing and maintaining bus stops in the county. The most common elements of the bus stop criteria are the following. The presence of a safe path. We've got to make sure that no matter where our buses are, there's a safe path for our students to transit to and from their home. Quality and type of road crossing, the proximity of railroad crossing, traffic speeds in the area, walking distances for students, and road conditions. When we're currently making decisions, we're making decisions based on our best judgment, as opposed to a set of guidelines that we all agree on. The board will have to approve what is a walking distance or a good walking distance for a student to a bus stop. All these criteria, we don't have them, and they must be set by the Board of Education as set forth in the Transportation Handbook by the DOE. So we also need to form a more extensive intergovernmental partnership in order to solve a majority of the issues and complaints from our stakeholders. A meaningful partnership must be formed with the Twiggs County Board of Commissioners to assist with the infrastructure issue. Like I said, some of these issues could be scraping the road a little bit. Some of these issues could be taking out some trees so we can make that turn. But those are not things that the Board of Education in itself. But we don't really have a mechanism where we are enlarging the complaints, the issues, and then following up. And that's something that we really need to develop in the upcoming year. What are our next steps? We plan on sending out a survey to parents, assessing their thoughts and opinions on improving transportation. We're going to do that anyway as a part of what we do every year. Once they receive that, the survey will have an open-ended question about their bus stop. So that way they can express their concerns or any ideas. We'll create a bus stop criteria. We'll make a list of all the locations that have issues, log them and investigate them and see if they're legitimate and what needs to be done at those particular locations. We'll develop a plan to mitigate bus stop issues and enhance student safety. The bus stop issue, that are beyond our control or scope of work, we will determine those and we will pass that on to the proper governmental agency. But this is an issue that we get from our stakeholders. They're concerned. They want bus stop issues to be solved. But we need to create a criteria that we all understand and we're fair and equitable to every parent, no matter where they live. Are there any questions, concerns?
Is this the only road that y'all have had complaints from?
No, ma'am. We've had several complaints and issues. I just brought that one up because it was recent. Yes, it was recent. But we do have complaints and we investigate those. We go down roads. There's a lot of old chalk mine roads that now have homes there, and people want us to go down old chalk mine roads that are one lane, get bogged down. And to be honest, we have one chalk mine road that the students live about 9 miles, 8 or 9 miles from where our bus stop is. We cannot go down that chalk mine road. It's unsafe, and the drivers don't feel comfortable driving down that road. So there are issues like that that we have in the county that we just have to figure out something. Some things cannot be solved by us.
What about Mountain Spring Road?
I can't really answer that offhand because I don't remember that. But we've gone down several roads. Yeah, and we have a lot, and sometimes people, Dr. Bullard and I were entertaining some guests, and they're like, do y'all every time you have bad weather? Well, bad weather for us means something different, because with saturated, we've had rain, and then we have a heavy rain. We got to worry about the saturation of the roads, and our buses getting down those roads. We do get buses stuck often. We do have equipment available now due to the last SPLOST on our trucks to be able to pull out buses before calling in wreckers. That gets to be something once we have heavy rains. So we are anticipating that. But yes, ma'am, we do have issues with dirt roads that get saturated easily, especially unimproved dirt roads.
I know the Mountain Spring Road, a bus has sort of slid into the ditch there. It's years back, but it did happen.
Which is why we want to be as careful as possible when we're deciding where we put our buses. Because our buses are full. We have our children on.
Thank you, Mr. Bacon. At this time, we'll move to business agenda item B, summer projects. This is the information item again for Mr. Bacon.
Major summer renovation projects for information. As you know, summertime is when we try to get new and improve our facilities and infrastructure here at Twiggs County School System. But before we do that, I'd like to remind everybody that we are a school system with vision, generating excellence, one team, one goal, with the mission to inspire, challenge, and prepare all students to complete globally. Our procurement policy. In accordance with the board policy, all purchases more than $25,000 must be authorized by the Twiggs County Board of Education. Tonight, I will be presenting several summer renovation projects for your consideration. Now, some of these projects we're definitely considering about, and we want to give the board ample opportunity to look over the projects and be able to discuss those if we bring those to you for an action item. Repairing and repainting the exterior of Twiggs County Middle High School. The paint on the exterior of the high school has faded to the point where there's little recognizable pigment or color. There are several large areas of stucco that is worn and need to be repaired. The current color scheme is not aligned with our branding strategy. The projected cost is $38,000 to $46,000. We are receiving bids right now to get a hard number when we present that at a later date. The bus shop roof. The bus shop has several serious issues for some time due to the design flaw. It's really two separate buildings. One that's the old school flat top, and then the metal building part that was added to it. So what they did, instead of their decision to join those two together, was to put a gutter down the middle of the two. That gutter is now rotting away, causing serious leaks, as well as the flat top roof on other parts of the building. This is making it difficult for the staff to work during heavy rains, store supplies, and use the bus area, shop area more effectively. The new roof would be a modified TPO roof. That's the plastic coating. But we are investigating other options. The roofer was just out here with Mr. Broderick a few minutes ago, because we're looking at other options to be more cost effective. Our projected cost right now, looking at work, is anywhere from $67,000 to $87,000. Stadium lights. The light fixtures at Kroger Stadium are over 20 years old. The current fixtures use 400-watt mercury bulbs that are inefficient by today's standard. Due to the age of the fixtures, the ballasts are shorting out. That was our problem last year. The ballast in one of the lights fixtures was shorting out, therefore causing a surge and blowing and tripping the breakers. The age of the ballast is the reason why we're having these shutdowns. The plan is to replace the current fixtures with high efficiency LED. What that will allow us to do, because the lumen count in the LED lights are so much, we'll have fewer lights, twice as much power, therefore using less wattage overall and preventing a trip of our system. The current estimated range is anywhere from $89,000 to $120,000. We're currently working with our vendors. We have some LED stadium lights on site. We have 3 of them to do a proof of concept and study them. We're doing that now. We're looking for vendors who can source those to us at a fair price. And we're also looking at the supply chain issue that we have, and everyone's suffering from supply chain issues. Even if we authorize it, we're not guaranteed that those things are in the country in sufficient quantities at this time. But we want to make the board aware of that and to be able to study this. And we will bring more information about the type of lights, our plan to get the lights, and the cost if necessary. Questions?
Have y'all done the over the bus stop thing?
The canopy.
Yeah, canopy.
Yes, ma'am. The canopy was completed a day before graduation. It is up, so please feel free to drive by. It looks great. So it is up, and kids are using it right now.
Thank you, Mr. Bacon. At this time, business agenda item C, our ready reading. This is an information item being presented by our Assistant Superintendent, Dr. Griffin Stewart. Good evening, Dr. Griffin Stewart.
Good evening, Board Chair Harris,
Proceed.
Vice Chair Rouse, board members, Superintendent Dr. Mac Bullard, all of our stakeholders listening virtually and in person. It brings me pleasure to share updates on our already reading needs. But before I can share that information with you, we are a district with a vision and a mission. Our vision is generating excellence, one team, one goal. Our mission is to inspire, challenge, and prepare all students to compete globally. We currently have already math software, but curriculum associates granted the Tweed County School District grades K through 8 free use of digital already reading software during the 2021-22 school year. The Teaching and Learning Department, along with endorsement of school leaders, would like to invest in already reading software and consumable books for the 22-23 school year for our K-8 students. Already reading, it's all about engaging and personalized instruction for our readers. We know that building reading skills is a life skill, not just academic. But already reading is an online program that helps all students of all ages become thoughtful and analytical readers. Grounded in best practice, it engages students as they build new skills and learn to access rigorous, culturally responsive text. It's personalized instruction adjusts the lesson's path to meet every reader at their individual level enabling teachers to provide a personalized learning experience for each student. So each student will work on standard, but they will also work at their reading level. So what's included in iReady? Lessons that teach foundational skills, such as phonological awareness, high-frequency words, and phonics to help students understand their connection to reading. Vocabulary lessons at earlier grade levels that teach words researchers have identified as the most essential to reading success. Instruction for third grade and above that helps students build word learning strategies that maximize vocabulary acquisition. And lastly, reading comprehension instruction that is designed to motivate learners of all ages as they grow accustomed to reading independently. So what I want to do now, board members, is just take a moment, and I want you to just take a tour of what our students would experience using the iReady consumables as well as the digital software.
iReady lessons help students become thoughtful, analytic readers and gain a love for reading. Powered by cutting-edge research and real-world testing with students across the country, our lessons keep students of all ages engaged as they build their skills and learn to access texts at grade level and beyond. The lessons are highly interactive, with less talking and more doing. They feature culturally relevant, rigorous texts. They always include embedded strategic scaffolds and offer instruction and supportive feedback to motivate students to persist in both text and task, especially struggling readers and English learners. And because in iReady the lesson pathway is guided by the diagnostic, every student always gets the support they most need in the domains they need it, so they can more quickly access their grade-level reading instruction or gain enrichment. Foundational skills lessons provide support in phonological awareness, high-frequency words, and phonics with engaging, interactive instruction. The lessons teach skills in context, connecting foundational skills to texts so that students understand the connection to reading. Vocabulary lessons at earlier grade levels teach the words that researchers have identified as being the most important to reading success. Students hear and see words repeatedly in many different activities, including sorting, matching synonyms, and using words in context, so they deepen and solidify their understanding. Lessons for grades 3 and above are designed to help students build word learning strategies, which are shown to maximize vocabulary acquisition. In reading comprehension lessons, the instruction is carefully designed to motivate both younger learners and older students who are filling learning gaps. Students learn how to access complex texts, develop reading habits with a special track of close reading lessons, and deepen students' reading comprehension and motivate them as they grow accustomed to reading rigorous text independently. Responsive instruction adjusts the pacing of a lesson to meet the needs of every learner, so students are always engaged and challenged while working in iReady. In all lessons, texts are carefully selected for rigor, inclusiveness, and appeal to a broad range of ages with highly engaging topics. iReady reading lessons provide greater content depth for knowledge development, greater student engagement, and therefore greater gains for all students.
So board members, I just wanted you to get a snapshot of the experience that our students would have in kindergarten through 8th grade. But I also want to look at a snapshot of our data from this school year. As you can see, when you look at it, we want the page to be green. We do have some yellows and some reds, but that lets us know that we're going to continue to help our students develop those foundational skills so they can continue to grow in the area of reading. So if you look at those areas, the placement by domains, phonological awareness, phonics, high-frequency words, vocabulary, comprehension, literature, comprehension, informational text. And so those are those foundational skills that students need to be strong readers, which will also help them be strong writers. And if you look at the overall placement by grade, you will have a bird's eye view of grades K through 8th. And so we want to continue with this already reading this year, because students will benefit like they're benefiting from math. So if you look, you will also see principal endorsement letters. And so both principals, Ms. Jenkins, as well as Dr. Simmons, they have endorsed the iReady software because it's a need for our students. And so this curriculum will cost us $22,998.91. Are there any?
Thank you, Dr. Griffin Stewart. At this time, we'll move to business agenda item D, proximity learning, vacancies, information item. Once again, Dr. Griffin Stewart.
Okay. So Board Chair Harris, Vice Chair Rouse, board members. I'm here today to talk about proximity learning and pending teacher needs. Proximity learning, this organization again provides certified virtual teachers to meet the needs of students in multiple content areas. Proximity learning has been providing virtual teachers for 10 plus years. The Twiggs County School District is still seeking to fill the following vacancies as of June 6th. English 10-12, we have a high school vacancy, no candidate in Talent Ed. Math, high school, Algebra 2, calculus. We don't have any candidates at this time in Talent Ed. The halftime math position, we have a promising prospect as of yesterday. So I'm excited about that. And then American Government and World Geography, we had 2 interviews today. And so I'm elated about that. But as we think about our vacancies, we want to make sure that we're proactive. And so with proximity learning, securing those certified teachers, the district will continue to seek candidates until June 15th, 2022. Twiggs County School District is not successful in finding viable candidates for the high school vacancies. The district will be requesting support from proximity learning. The Twiggs County schools need to make our requests as early as possible so proximity learning can secure teachers for the vacant positions. We want to request, if we have to, I want to stress that if we don't find a viable candidate, we want to request their support from July 2022 to December 2022. And the reason we will only ask for that request for half a year is because during the school year, we continue to get applicants in September and October. And while we support proximity learning and we support virtual instruction, we really would prefer to have a face-to-face teacher. So if we have to go that route, we still want to make sure that we leave our options open for a face-to-face teacher. But requesting to hire additional teachers through proximity learning, there are still benefits. Virtual certified teachers, consistent teacher for the 22-23 school year, preparing students for a global society. Virtual instruction is a part of the way we approach learning. And so that, of course, evolved during our COVID experience. And college students are experiencing that right now, where they have their teacher is virtual while they're actually in their room. So we want them to still experience some virtual instruction, but primarily we would like a face-to-face teacher. Help with those rituals and routines set for learning and avoid missed instruction. So let's say, what would the cost breakdown be for those proximity teachers if we had to use them for half a year? Right now, our math full half-time position looks promising. And so we're just going on those 3 teachers, the English, social studies, and math full-time. So if you see there with teacher retirement, we would say $16,599. And we would say for FICA, $6,696. State health benefits would be $16,980 for a total projected cost savings of $40,275. So again, board members, this is a proactive step we want to put in place. Our face-to-face teacher. That's what we have been diligently working on for a while now. So I'm excited to share that JES has 100% of their teachers for K-5 5 recommended, and so we do still have some classified positions to fill, but I'm excited about that. I'm also excited about where we are with our middle and high school hiring as well. So are there any questions?
So with the 100% teachers, so they won't need any of this. I know that we're preparing our kids to be able to compete globally. So with Spanish, I would like if we can maybe get our smaller kids to be able, when they move to the middle school, maybe they'll
Great suggestion. I know that Ms. Jenkins is probably listening, and she's probably screaming wherever she is, because we have been talking about some options for our elementary students just to get the experience of working with virtual teachers.
just the tip.
Okay. Thank you so much, Ms. Blake.
I got one more thing. So who will be monitoring? I know, with the teachers being online, we've got some complaints, the class just not being engaged. So who will be actually monitoring?
Dr. Simmons, the new principal at the middle high school, we've had some conversation about that already. So we could talk about who was there last year and screen who was our best possible sub, who was there to be in the classroom. And so how we have restructured how the content areas will be. Each assistant principal for a content area. And so whoever's over that content area, they will have to monitor that class daily along with the facilitator in the room.
Thank you, Dr. Griffith-Stewart.
Thank you.
This time we'll move to business agenda item E. This is our ESSER funds and our federal funds end of year review. Information item being presented by Director of Curriculum and Instruction, Ms. Miriam Reardon. Good evening.
Good evening, Board Chair Harris, Vice Chair Rouse, board members, Superintendent Dr. Bullard, and our stakeholders, virtually and in person. Today, we are going to be talking about our federal programs, Title I, Title II, Title V, and 2 of our ESSER programs. And as you have seen with the work that we've been doing here in the district, we all have a vision of generating excellence, one team as one goal, and that goal being to inspire, challenge, and prepare all students to compete globally. We're going to start with our Title I program budget. With Title I, we started off the year with an original budget of $481,833. An adjustment was made mid-year of $31, and that was a fiscal year poverty and population count review for new and expanding charter schools in Georgia. So all LEAs were reduced funding for this reason. Then we had a carryover of $24,688, which gave us a final budget that we worked with this year of $506,490. These funds, as we went through the year, we amended, we adjusted based on progress monitoring and changing needs within the schools. And we ended the year with using the funds to provide support personnel, intervention monitoring, and support in the form of paraprofessionals, an academic coach, family engagement coordinator, and grant administration for support personnel, and STAR, summer school, STEM scopes, supplies for instructional support, right score, USA test prep, and family engagement supplies and communication. Our next funding source is Title II. Title II is used for improving teacher quality. We started the year with $59,826 allocation. Again, that adjustment was made of $23, and the carryover was added from the previous year of $8,157, which gave us a final budget of $67,960 to work with this year. Title II provided professional learning, recruiting, and retention of teachers. For professional learning, we had professional learning activities, professional learning planning sessions, conferences, and TAP. For recruiting and retaining teachers, we had an induction program, new teacher orientation. We had fees for recruitment fairs and travel to and from recruitment fairs included in this budget. Next, we have title programs 4 and 5. Title 5 is for rural and low income. We had allocated to us the amount of $17,941. Title 4 is for student supports. We had allocated to us $37,159. We combined these two, consolidated these two funds, put them into the bucket of Title 5, and merged them with the carryover of $2,381 from Title V to have a final budget of $57,481 for our Title V program budget. This program budget was funding PBIS and district programs. For PBIS, it funds the district coordinator, excuse me, PBIS rewards and monitoring software, and the Model Schools Conference. For district programs, it provides stipends for off-contract work and transportation for our summer school program. Next, we have ESSER 2. We're not covering ESSER 1, CARES 1, because we've already spent that money and we discussed that a few months ago. So here's ESSER 2. Last time we talked, there were adjustments made in the budget for this program. You see the pie chart up at the top that we discussed a few weeks ago. ESSER 2 was $1,636,623,000. That covers parent engagement. This is what we have spent to date this school year. Parent engagement, $2,000, 0.1% of the 1% allocated. Health and safety, $13,581, 0.81% of the 6% allocated. Retention supplements, $279,507, which is 17% of the allocated 17%. Hotspots, data plans, and insurance for computers of $90,669, which is 6% of the 12% we allocated. Curriculum, supplies, and assessment, we have spent $83,912, which is 5% of the 8% allocated. Teacher, leader, and district development, we've spent $12,805, which is 0.8% of the 6% we have allocated. Student learning support was $579,811. That's 34% of the 43% we have allocated. Facility repairs, air quality, and PPE, $11,371. It's 0.7% of the 5% allocated. And finally, summer school. There is part of our summer school funding that will come out this year. None has been spent at this time. That's because we haven't paid the bills yet for summer school. And this is going to be part of the student learning and support, where we spent 34% of the 43% that we allocated. So this is going to come out of that 43%. And finally, tonight we're discussing ESSER, ARP, or ESSER 3, $3,678,270. So far this year, we have spent for student learning support $28,281, continuity of services, staff retention, and staff development $66,665, technology $15,392, curriculum and assessment $10,500, maintenance, upgrades, and cleaning $32,545. Are there any questions?
Thank you, Ms. Reardon.
Thank you.
At this time, we'll move to business agenda item F, This is our FY 2023 budget approval. This is an action item being presented by our superintendent and CFO, Mr. James Austin. Good evening, Mr. Austin.
Good evening, Board Chair, Vice Chair, Board members, Superintendent Dr. Bullard, constituents in person and virtually. We have had a great budget process. The past 6 months has included budget workshops, administrative sessions, community outreach, and ensuring that all of our funds support our mission, which is generate excellence, one team. Our vision, generate excellence, one team, one goal, and our mission to inspire, challenge, and prepare our students to compete globally. I am presenting a balanced budget of $9,624,691. Total funds, $12,635,411, which includes all of our state, federal, and local dollars, which includes our fund balance projected of $847,025. We have had both of our public hearings as it relates to the state legislation according to Georgia Code, which the last one was held at 5:30 this evening. Are there any questions, concerns, or comments about the budget before final?
Board members, are there any final questions before we accept our 23 FY budget? Seeing none, may I have a motion to accept the budget approval as presented before us tonight?
Mr. Chair, I make the motion to accept the FY 2023 budget.
The motion has been properly made by Ms. Blackshear. May I have a second? Seconded by Ms. King. Any discussion? No discussion. I know you by saying aye, raising your hand. Do you approve this motion to accept our FY 23 budget? Aye. Aye. Any opposers? No opposers. That motion carries unanimously. Thank you, Mr. Austin. At this time, we'll move to business agenda item G, our district request. This is a action item being presented by our superintendent, Dr. Bullard.
Good evening, Mr. Chair, Mr. Vice Chair, board members, all of our constituents that are with us face-to-face and those joining us virtually. We do have 2 field trip requests before us tonight that we're seeking your approval, and I'll also ask to ratify 2 unexpected field trips that were approved by the board electronically in the month of May, and 1 electronic approval of a facility use last week. Before you, the 2 field trip requests that you have is one on Thursday, June the 16th at 3 p.m. Our Twiggs County High School varsity football team are asking permission to travel to Macon County High School in order to scrimmage and have exposure and field experience. Coach Perry and his coaches will be taking the varsity football team, on that trip. And on July the 1st, which is a Friday, again, the varsity football team is asking your permission to travel to Wilkinson County. Likewise, exposure and field experience and preparation for the football season. If you can recall as well, in the month of May, we did have 2 field trip requests that occurred after before our May 24th board meeting and our May 27th board meeting. And that was on May the 13th, where the athletic department requested your permission to high school football stadium on June the 7th and June the 8th. And the board did approve that facility use as well. And we simply want to ratify those 2 field trip requests and that 1 facility use request for the minutes. Well, we ask your approval for the two that are before you and the ratification.
Thank you, Dr. Bullock. Does anyone have any questions for Dr. Bullock this evening? Seeing none, I ask for a motion to accept the superintendent's request for district field trips and facility usage as we ratify those already made decisions. Motion been properly made by Ms. Blackshear. May I have a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. King. Any discussion? No discussion. I know you by saying aye. Raise your hand if you approve the motion to accept the district request. Aye. Seeing no objections, motion carries unanimously. Thank you, Dr. Bullock.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
At this time, I entertain a motion to enter into executive session.
So moved.
Motion has been properly made by Ms. Blackshear. May I have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Vice Chair Ross. Any discussion? No discussion. I know by saying aye. Raising your hand if you accept this motion to enter into executive session. Aye. No opposed. That motion carries unanimously. We are now into our executive session. Good evening to our in-person and online viewers. Thank you for your patience as we deliberated in our executive session being presented by our superintendent. At this time, may I have a motion to exit executive session and enter into public session?
So moved.
Motion's been properly made by Ms. King. May I have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Ms. Shirley Stokes. Any discussion? No discussion. I know you by saying aye. Raise your hand if you approve this motion. Aye. Any opposed? No opposed. That motion carries unanimously. Board members, we are now back into public session. At this time, I would like for a motion to accept the superintendent's request concerning personnel matters. And if you don't mind, I'd like to accept this all at once. Superintendent recommendation for EID 2776, transfer of appointments. New hires, CID 4588, 4605, 4595, 0614, new hires. Resignations, rescindments, and renewals. CID 4489, EID 271, EID 2995. I'm dyslexic tonight. EID 721. Is that correct? Correct. All right. Any discussion? No discussion? I know you by saying aye. Raising your hand if you accept the superintendent's recommendations.
I'd like to make a motion to accept the transfer appointments, the new hires, the resignation renewals.
Thank you. I heard it in my head. It was a little slow. May I have a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. King. Any discussion? No discussion? I know you by saying aye. Or raising your hand if you accept the motion. Aye. Any opposers? No opposers. That motion carries unanimously. Dr. Bullock, do we omit anything?
So we have exhausted our.
Seeing none, may I have a motion for adjournment?
I'll make that motion.
As always, happily made by Ms. Shirley Stokes. May I have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Ms. King. Any discussion? No discussion. I know you by saying aye. Raising your hand if you approve this motion. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposers? No opposed. That motion carries unanimously. Good night, Tweeds County.
Okay.